school orientation night. I'm glad you were able to attend. I know you're super busy, but I also know you're anxious and ready to get your kids back in school. So as promised a few weeks ago, we thought we'd host one more Zoom, and we're glad you're here. Tonight, the goals are simple. We're going to go over first day of school updates and reminders, remote instruction updates and reminders, health plan updates and reminders, and of course, we'll take any and all chat questions. And as always, you can call us 981-2005 or the hotline 2009, or of course the campus. So any of those numbers are great ways to get a hold of us. So glad to help you with any and all questions as school gets back rolling here in just a few days. Of course, we have Carrie Cosda, our principal, who's going to speak tonight. Amanda Adams, our executive director for teaching and learning, who's going to speak tonight. We've got our assistant principals for the elementary, Misty Cook, who's doing pre-K through 2 as a reminder, and Leanna Sexton, who's doing grades 3 through 5, who just popped in the other video. And so we're here to serve and help and make sure we have a fabulous start. Can you believe we're just 7 days away? It's almost been 200 days since we were in school, and we are antsy like you and ready for the kids to get back. And so Tuesday the 8th will be here before we know it, and we are super excited. So following that Labor Day holiday, we're ready to roll. Just as some reminders, I'm going to share my screen here for a moment just to make sure everybody knows where to find a few things. Let me pull up my screen here. All right, here we go. I just want to make sure everybody can see this information before school starts. So just as a reminder, if it's a campus page or the district website, every page has this box that says COVID-19 plan. And just as a reminder, if you click there, it has a lot of different information over there on the right-hand side and all those different pages. There's even a new page called the Return the Play Ticket Sales and Game Plan for all of our UIL athletic events. And then I've got an FAQ going. We've got information if you're on remote instruction about our technology lending plan. And then we have information about our student meal bag program, our counseling services, and then instructional extension activities as well. But at the bottom of this page, you can see a lot of links I've put out there. Of course, we have our calendar followed by our screening form. We've got our entire Return to Learn plan, which is over 30 pages of goodness and updates for the start to school. We have a table that explains, again, the difference between on-campus and remote instruction. Then there's a new document that we have to send out about our attendance rights and responsibilities for you as parents, and that's in English and Spanish. Then there's a new document from the TEA called Doing Your Part to Help Keep Texas Safe and Combating COVID-19 and helping stop the spread of the virus. And so just wanted to make sure you knew where all of that information is. So I'm going to take it off of share. And just as a general reminder, there's a big school messenger coming out for back to school news. It's going to contain a new bully reporting document for you to put on your refrigerator at home. That's a QR code, and you just use your phone and it goes straight to the bully reporting form that comes straight to me. So I wanted to alert you that this is a great way to get in touch directly with me, even outside of school hours, for any safety or bullying concerns. Also wanted you to know I'm going to send you the calendar, attendance notifications for the year, a link to all of our handbooks, and then of course, the COVID-19 home self-screener, which is going to be a very important document for every day of the school year. Excuse me, as I cough. Wanted to make sure that you saw, or you're seeing, my Tank the Trojan safety tip on social media. Over the last week, I'm releasing a different safety tip reminder every day, and Tank the Trojan was kind enough to help me. Tomorrow's is about our bottle fillers, and so each day I'm just kind of sharing news as reminders for you and your students to make sure we're ready for the start of school. I also wanted to let you know I've been in touch with several other superintendents from districts that have been in school for the last week or two, and we've been getting tips on how to tweak our plans and things that we might want to rethink as school approaches. And I'm just happy to report that all of their starts are going well and have not had any COVID cases and are doing swimmingly. And so I feel even more confident with our plan because when I went through what they were doing as compared to ours, we're actually doing much more, which I believe in my heart means our staff and students and families will be even more safe. And so I'm ready for the school year. So let's kick it over to Mrs. Cosda, the most fabulous principal in the world, who's going to share, don't Mr. Clander, I said that, or Ms. Suka, but we'll going to share some updates for the first day. Take it away, Mrs. Cosda.
Hi, everyone. Just like Mr. Truitt said, we're so excited for school to start. We've had 12 days so far. We still have 3 more days of professional development, which the teachers have loved, having time to plan and train and get ready for your kids, but they are ready for your kiddos to come back to school. We're just ready to have kids in the building again. I'm going to start with just a few things we've had parents ask us about the last couple of days. One thing they've asked about is, can pre-K through second graders wear masks? They know it's required 3 through 12, but they didn't know about pre-K through second. And of course, yes, they can. We actually recommend that they do if you would like them to. So feel free, if you have a pre-K through second grader, to have them wear it. We only required it 3 through 12 because we were going with the CDC recommendations. Also, we had a dad come in the front office today talking to us about his pre-K student, and he was trying to wrap his brain around getting his kid used to the morning drop-off. And so yesterday and today, he did a practice morning drop-off, and he drove his pre-Ker up and showed him like how to quickly get the backpack, how to get out of the car, close the door, and what door they needed to go to. If you are wanting to do that, go for it. You've still got quite a few days before school starts, like Mr. Truitt. It's a week away, and you can always practice that morning drop-off for pre-K and kindergarten, or any student really. And also just reminding them, if you have a pre-K or kindergartner, to wear that lanyard that we gave you, Meet the Teacher Night. If they wear that on the first day, that's going to help us ensure we get everyone to the correct room. If you miss Meet the Teacher Night, don't stress. Just come to the front office, and we have your packet in the front office for you, and we have the lanyard ready. And that morning, really the entire first week, we have lots of extra people that come and help us. The entire administration building comes over and helps, and they are going to be there and ready to help us with our pre-K and kinder students especially. Throughout the day, Mr. Truitt, are you wanting me to talk about the day a little bit? Some things that extra things we've done? Okay, we've added a few precautions, just like Mr. Truitt said. We've had the beauty of being able to talk to districts that have been up and running for a couple of weeks, and we're tweaking a few things just to make sure that our plan's the best. So, and we talked to a few other districts that found quickly that they needed to zone recess, and that is something that we're going to do this year. And we've already talked to the teachers about it. The entire grade level is going to go out. They're going to play on the same playground, but we're going to have kind of certain areas for different classrooms so that they still have all their friends to play with, but we don't have 100 clumped in one area. Like Mr. Truitt said, the water bottle fillers are coming. So if you could provide a water bottle, that would be fabulous. Just make sure your kid's name's on it, and you want to send it to school filled. A lot of times they like to bring it to school empty because they think the water bottle filler is so fun. They all want to fill it up first thing in the morning. But if you could send it to school filled, they'll be able to refill it anytime throughout the day that they need it. We have also zoned, I guess you would say, restrooms. So we have different grade levels designated to certain restrooms so that they're not all intermingling with different grade level students. And as we've stated other times before, they go directly to the classrooms in the morning. They're going to be served breakfast in the classroom, and they have lunch in the classroom. There are times really to leave the room during the day or for recess and for specials when they go to computer, art, music, and PE. And we even have a little buffer time in between specials so that one entire grade level can get back to the room before the next grade level enters the hallway to help us with hallway traffic. And at the end of the day, we're going to also dismiss from the classrooms, which as a parent, I don't have an elementary kid anymore, which is really weird for me. But as a parent, I would love, because you know that your child's teacher is the one making sure they get home the correct way. So, and those are just some of the things that we've put into place. want to let you know we have also had a couple of people ask about remote learning. We're down to, I think last count this afternoon was 56 that have chosen remote learning, but we have had a few say, is it okay if since we work during the week, we do all of their schooling over the weekend? We're going to wait and do it all on Saturday and Sunday. And that's actually not okay. They really, truly have to do it each day or each evening and need to get it submitted that night. The teachers are having to take daily attendance. And so when those assignments are given to the students, we really need those done that day. So it's not feasible to get them all done over the weekend because they would be counted absent because they wouldn't have it done during the week. And I think that's all as far as new things or questions that I've received. I can say I'm in my car because I was at a JV volleyball game, so I can't see the chat from my phone. If there are chat questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
So far, there are not, but parents, that's a good reminder that feel free to hit the chat feature at the bottom if you have a specific question. Ms. Costa, that was great. Do you mind giving an update? Because I've received some questions on the temporary buildings that they're the old ones left. We've got some new ones back. So will you share what those are about, just in case some of these parents are wondering if their kids might have to go to those new classrooms?
Sure. We actually have 5 rooms that are out there. On one building, there are 2 classrooms. One is for dyslexia, one is for ESL. In the other building, there are 3 classrooms. One is for speech, one is for ISS. If we were ever to have students that need to have in-school suspension, we would have an adult with them. And then one is for a possible, if we ever needed a place to hold students if they had to wait, hours before a parent could come pick them up if we thought they could possibly have COVID. We worked really hard to make sure that the rooms out there were not classrooms or students that needed to be out there for a prolonged time. So the students that are out there are typically there for maybe 30 minutes. And that way we know they can go to the restroom before they go out there or go to the restroom when they come back.
Great, thank you. All right, let's keep rolling because we know everyone's super busy. Mrs. Adams, will you share updates on remote instruction and about student enrollment at all of our schools? I think our families might want to see how everything's turning out during this unique time.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Let me start with enrollment. As of today, we have 1,246 students enrolled at West ISD. And for our elementary parents, we have 526 enrollees. We do have district-wide 103 students that have chosen to be remote instruction students at this time. But as Ms. Costa said, that number has lowered a little bit over the last few days at elementary. And while I'm talking about that, I want to go ahead and hit on how you come back and forth if you're remote instruction or on campus. Now remember, if you are on campus, you're allowed to go to remote at any time. The process will be that you will need to contact your campus principal or assistant principal, and then they will contact me and we will begin the process of going remote from on campus. If you are remote and you would like to come back on campus, if that's between now and Friday, September 4th, call the campus and they will get you switched back to on campus. We can still do that. If it's after that, you will need to stay on remote learning until the end of the 3rd week of school. You can go ahead and let us know that your intention is to switch back beginning week 4, but you would be locked into being a remote student and family until week 4. So you have a decision that you can still make those changes through this Friday. And then after that, at the beginning of week 4, we could make that switch. And then after that, at any time during the end of a grading period, you would be able to switch from remote to on campus. So those dates are published on the website where Mr. Truitt showed you the COVID-19 plans. They're on there, but if you ever have a concern about switching back and forth in any way, contact your campus and then they'll get in contact with me and we'll make those changes as we can. I wanted to share that we have finished 3 live parent orientations. Today was our last one. However, we've also sent out a complete video of the orientation and all topics, as well as questions that we've received. I sent that out to every parent family group yesterday through School Messenger, even if you were not a remote instruction family, because at any point you can make that decision, and that would be a good video for you to watch before you make the decision so that you can know what exactly the requirements and expectations are. So look in your school emails or your emails from school. That came from me yesterday with that video. If you did not receive an email from us, that could indicate that we have a bad email address. So please contact your campus tomorrow if you didn't see that School Messenger come through. Also, if you are I'm speaking right now strictly to our remote instruction families and students. Tomorrow, you will be getting those emails that we talked about in orientation that have your students' username and password, as well as directions for the first day, and our help documents that we said we would send to you. And if you would try those usernames and passwords out starting Thursday morning and let us know if you have any trouble, so that by the time you start on Tuesday, September 8th, everybody's able to get in easily. So expect that email sometime tomorrow. And if you don't receive it, please reach out and call Mr. Snook, and I'll give you his information here in just a minute in both the chat and I'll tell you. And let us know that you didn't receive yours by Thursday morning, because we want to make sure to get that to each remote instruction family. So Mr. Don Snook is the first contact for parents and learning coaches of remote instruction students. So his email address I'll put in the chat, but it's dsnook@westisd.net. And his direct number is 254-981-2008. And I'll also put that in the chat here as soon as we get through talking. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about was kind of reiterating what Ms. Costa said, and then a little bit about meal bags. But Ms. Costa did mention something that's very important, and that is that remote instruction requires daily attendance, just like if you were on campus. So if your student was used to working ahead and getting everything done in a day last spring, that will not work for attendance. So be sure that your student logs in each day if they're a remote instruction student and completes the assignments for that day by midnight, so that we can make sure to get them counted present. And if you have any questions about that, please feel free to call us. We also are still going to offer meals to our remote instruction students. Meal bags will be on a weekly basis. They'll have 5 breakfasts and 5 lunches per student per week. And those are available to our free, reduced, and pay students. If you're interested in participating in the meal bags, you'll need to call Sandra Kettler at our main number, 254-981-2000. And you'll pick those up on the first day of the school week, typically Mondays, between 1 and 2 at the same pickup place we had last time, which is the cafeteria doors by the softball field. We are not delivering this time, so you will need to be able to pick those up and work that out. We'll talk with Ms. Kettler about pricing and how to get that set up for your family every week. And we will have meal bags available on the first day of school for pickup between 1 and 2. So give her a call if that's something you'd like to participate in. Okay, I'll put those numbers in the chat for Mr. Snook.
Thank you, Mrs. Adams. I just answered a few chat questions, but while I'm talking for this segment, Ms. Adams will be answering the questions, so keep them coming. I just want to let everybody know where we are on our personal protective equipment, because we've been getting a couple of questions about what we'll have for your kiddos. First off, if for some reason something goes wrong with their mask or a strap breaks or they forget it, we do have masks for the kids ready in every classroom and in the front office. And we have different types as well. We have cloth and we have the surgical style. So we've got many options if there's one in particular your child wants. We've got wipes, hand sanitizer everywhere. We have loads of hand sanitizer. We could bathe in it. So we're ready to go there. We're going to have hand washing breaks, as you've heard Ms. Costa mention in other presentations. Gloves, desk dividers for the kids at their desks and in the special education classrooms. Ms. Costa mentioned the bottle fillers that we're going to switch out the fountains for this week before school starts, and much more. I just wanted you to know we've got a lot of things for your kids to use as far as the PPE materials. I did want to make sure everyone knew that on the COVID-19 symptom screener that you're going to be receiving, the CDC changed the list again on us, and it seems to evolve with the number of symptoms. It goes up and down, then right now it went back up. So it went from 8 symptoms to 14 symptoms here in the last 2 weeks. And so I've updated the form, and that's why I want to give you a new copy to hang on your refrigerator or maybe tape to your back door, because our first line of preventing COVID from entering our buildings is you guys. Yes, we're doing temperature checks and screenings at every entry. Yes, we can then halt it from entering the building and get your help with getting your child home. But if you do it before you even drive to school or head to the bus stop, it would greatly help us in making sure that our students and staff and families are safe. And so just wanted to mention that the symptom list is a little longer, and I've got a new form to send you that I hope you'll put somewhere visible in your homes. Ms. Costa hit some of the face coverings, but since I saw a question in the chat room, I wanted to make sure, again, everybody knew about how we're going to handle some things with the masks. Ms. Costa nailed the grades 3 through 5 and then the pre-K through 2. And that, of course, we'd love for all students to wear them. And of course, all staff and visitors will be. But I wanted to remind everybody about the pre-K through grade 5 if they're bus riders. It doesn't matter if you're a kindergartner or a first grader, everybody must wear a mask on the bus. And if you think about the close confinement of the bus, and we're doing our best to social distance, but I think you'll all agree on a bus is very challenging. And so we need those masks worn. And so the bus is a must. Also, as a reminder, we may have some students at those grade levels because of medical reasons or documentation. We may need to have a class wear them. And so we'll let everybody know via school messenger if that's the case. So just wanted to reiterate that. On the face shields, we are fans of the face shields. We like them. But the CDC has said that if you get within close proximity or close contact to individuals, that you must still have on a face mask in addition to the shield. And so in the rooms and in different activities throughout the day, yes, they will be 6 feet apart. Yes, there'll be social distancing where a face shield's appropriate. But the minute they move in the lines or the change class, like Ms. Costa was mentioning, the face mask would be needed as well, just for that extra protection because of the sides being open on the shield. And so just wanted to make sure you knew what the guidelines were saying about that for schools. On our plan for COVID notification, I get a lot of emails about how it works for suspected versus lab confirmed cases. And so I thought I would just go over the steps, and it may lead to some good chat room questions that I can answer, or in this case, Mrs. Adams can answer. I just wanted to make sure everyone knew the difference between suspected and then of course lab confirmed and how we're going to handle it. Obviously the mask is the key, along with the screening and the temperature check for most of the pieces I'm going to talk about in these plans. You know, when masks are worn in the different classrooms and grade levels, the whole suspected plan is different, because if masks aren't worn, then of course everyone in the room is a suspected case if someone becomes ill or sick or has symptoms. So that's a big difference in how we have to approach this, is look at the mask and look at the proximity of your child to the child that comes down with whatever symptom or illness that we're talking about. And so a lot of investigation pieces will go into this, and our campus nurse, and I think you'll all agree that Nurse Loretta is about the most fabulous nurse in the universe. And so she's the key piece to this, the medical expert on our campus, in conjunction with the Waco-McLennan County Health Department. She'll make the determination on any child that comes to her with a suspected illness or symptom, and we'll start the documentation and the process that kicks it to Ms. Costa and then to me. And so, of course, we'll immediately separate the student from everyone else in the classroom and contact the parent or guardian. to go ahead and come up to the school. You heard Ms. Costa talk about our quarantine room and places in the building where students must wait for pickup. And of course, they'll be with adult supervision and still doing things until their parents arrive. We've already talked to Mr. Renninger and our fabulous maintenance team about how we must immediately clean and disinfect the areas or the classroom. We have that space now with the temporaries to move a class if needed, which we didn't have without those temporaries. And then the whole piece of the suspected COVID cases comes down to this close contact, where think about it in a classroom with assigned seats. And if little Johnny's at a table and little Jenny becomes sick, well, Johnny was right by her. And so we need to contact Johnny's parents because he probably was within 6 feet of little Jenny and needs to go home and make sure he's okay. So we would do that with everybody in the classroom on the suspected case. And of course, we'd have to look at the entire classroom if the masks aren't in place. So I would send notification, and then in that notification, it would explain the COVID pieces for the 14-day quarantine. And then of course, we'd follow up with news and updates. And again, I committed to posting that information on our website and on School Messenger. Now on Lab Confirmed, it works the exact same way, except for a more immediate shutdown of the area where the kids or the kid was, or the staff member, and then the period of time and what we have to do to clean and disinfect the area. And the big difference is this notification was suspected. With confirmed, we kick in the 3 criteria that the three-pronged test for them to return to school. And really it comes down to the biggest one is 10 days must pass from the last time they had a symptom before they can come to school. And so that's not just 14 days, it could be much longer. And of course we have to have the negative test from the medical professional before they can come back. And so we have a lot of different pieces there. Again, you'll hear a lot from me on the notification piece, and I've committed to sending out updates on suspected and of course lab confirmed, so you know exactly the current health status of each of our campuses in West ISD. And that's going to take a lot of work. And if you get a lot of messages from me about suspected cases, it doesn't mean our schools are unsafe. A lot of districts are not sending out notifications for suspected, but I want to make sure we're transparent and you understand what's going on in our district from suspected all the way to the lab confirmed cases. Just as a reminder, every meeting that we can have this year, we're going to try to do virtually like this on Zoom. Phone conferences are best. If you need to meet with the teacher, Mrs. Costa, please call. Definitely we can do team meetings with Google Hangouts or Meets or Zoom, however you want to do it. We definitely need notice. Instead of just showing up. So always call ahead, even when you're coming to get your child for a dentist appointment or a doctor's appointment, or you name it, please call ahead, because we'll even walk the child to your car if we're given notice. You won't even have to go through the process of coming in and out of those situations. As a reminder, because of our COVID plan and the guidelines from the state, we can't bring outside lunch like from Bush's or Sonic to the kids this year. I know that's a big downer. We don't have a choice there, guys. And for the parties, you can still bring food for parties, birthday, Christmas, those kind of things, but it must be prepackaged and store-bought. It can't be home-baked goods. And I know we've got some incredible bakers in this community, but this year it's just not allowed. So please keep those things in mind. And one last update, the child nutrition team wanted me to make sure everybody knew that we're trying to get away from taking coin and cash for meals, and that the school bucks side is the way to go this year. And it's on our main website. I meant to show it to you earlier, where it says child nutrition next to that COVID-19 bar, where you can get online and get your account set. Rather than the ladies that are delivering the breakfast and lunch to the classrooms, they don't have time or the ability to take money. They're trying to serve food. And if you think about the cleanliness of money, that's a bad mix. And so we're not taking any cash or coins for the meals. So please use school bucks. If you need to bring money, they'll take it in the front office and get it to your account that way. The student can bring it in an envelope by the front office, or you can drop it by, and again, they'll come get it from you if you call ahead. So I know that was a lot, but I wanted to make sure that we went over those reminders. The first day will be here before we know it, and our whole plan starts with the bus stops. Again, we need a parent or guardian for elementary kids at the stops. I know that's going to be a work in progress, but that's our first entry point on the first day. We'll welcome kids starting at 7:15. Teachers will be ready to go to welcome them in the classrooms, and with breakfast, as Ms. Cosda will kick off learning about 7:45, ready for announcements and what we believe will be the best year in the history of West ISD. All right, I see a lot of chat questions, so let me see how we're doing. And Ms. Adams probably answered some of them, so let me see what we've got.
Yes, I
Can
think
I
the
answer
last
a couple
two.
for you, Mr. Truitt?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. One of them, some of them I can see the entire question, some I can't. One of them was about the specific food that was going to be delivered to the rooms. They're going to work really hard to try to provide the same food that they have in years past, because I know everybody loves their cooking. But they did ask for that first week if we could give a little grace. It's probably not going to be the like chicken spaghetti and all those really difficult things that first week, just while they're working out all the kinks and getting their system down. They didn't want kids to go home that first week and say it didn't taste the same or didn't look the same, and then not want to purchase for the rest of the year. So just week one, the food will look a little different just because they're trying to get their system down. And then I saw another one about if you need to check your kid out early, what the process is. If you can, we would always prefer if you could call the front office when you're on your way and let us know. Or even whenever you pull up, you could call and let us know, and we could bring your kid out to you. What we don't prefer is if you call and say, like at 10 in the morning, hey, at 2 in the afternoon, can you have so-and-so in the front office? Just because we've done that sometimes in the past, and then the parent might run late and not show up till 2:30, and the kid has had to stand in the office for a long time. Or it gets busy and someone forgets. So just when you pull up, call us and we'll get your kiddo for you, and we can bring them out to the car. We'll have a clipboard for you to sign them out, and we're going to ask at that time if you can just kind of have your own pen if you can. If you don't have a pen, then we'll bring one out to you. Those are two that I just saw that I knew I could answer real quick.
I saw a good question about the suspected case, and the answer to that is no. After the 14-day quarantine period, you'd come back to on-campus instruction. And if you think about it, the way the guidelines work, really it would also mean a negative test, but the guidelines don't say that because not everybody will have access or the ability to go and get that done in the whole class. So just wanted to clarify that the way TEA's ruled that is that 14-day quarantine period. And again, suspected is different. We're going to really have to look at that close contact definition. So look at that on page 4 of your guidelines. And I've got that right here, because I just want to stress to you guys that the wording for that says directly exposed to infectious secretions, which means a cough like I did earlier, or a sneeze, or within 6 feet for the cumulative duration of 15 minutes while not wearing a mask. That's a lot of ifs and thens. So keep that in mind that if we have a kiddo that's sick, if the mask is on, those things should not come into play where you'd still be rocking it and come to school. And so just keep that in mind, that it comes down to that definition as we investigate who the student was around that we may be sending home. Okay, so keep that in mind on that definition. All right, that's all the chat questions I see. Good question about siblings in the home. If someone has a positive test, and actually the way it's worded, no, it says positive with 0 symptoms. Right now, we're hearing a lot from the CDC about someone that was positive and then they keep showing up as positive multiple times even after the test. We'll handle those differently as each family based on their symptoms. And so we let those folks come, but on the first negative test, it's written. So households is the wording for it. So yes, we would need all the siblings to stay home until we're for sure everybody's okay. All right, that's all the chat questions. So Ms. Costa, do you have anything in closing?
No, we're just ready. Can't wait to see your kids. And I'm also going to send out a school messenger this weekend. So when you see school messenger pop up twice, one is for Mr. Truitt, and it's more district level things, but I'm also going to send one as well. So don't accidentally delete thinking it's the same one twice.
All right, Ms. Adams, any closing remote instruction information?
Just let us know, reach out to Mr. Snook if you have any questions, and we'll be sure to answer them before Monday.
All right, well, we appreciate everybody tuning in. And as always, call us if you have any questions. We appreciate your attendance tonight. Go Trojans and Lady Trojans. Get ready for the most awesome year in the history of West Elementary School. We'll see you Tuesday, September 8th for the first day. Thank you.